Hi, I'm Xavier Cortada and I'm happy to share my art with you here. I created 4 pieces of art for the Frost Art Museum that celebrate the 4 seasons and the 4 elements: air, fire, earth, and water. And I created these pieces by taking photographs of the shadows of trees from South Florida's native tree canopy, and then digitizing them to create these digital prints. These digital prints were then blown up to create the art that hangs at the atrium of the museum. Each print captures the flora of South Florida and works with it in this interlaced layer works that capture the fall, which I represent through the Greek element of air, winter, which I represent through the Greek element of fire, earth is the Greek element I use to represent spring, and water is the Greek element that I use to represent summer. And each of these 4 elements clearly are no longer the only elements. You can look at a periodic table, and a periodic table literally has over 100 elements on it. But the Greeks knew that there was an interconnected to things, and these 4 pieces celebrate that interconnectivity. So each of these banners, through the prism of a season and the prism of the elements, tries to show that. South Florida doesn't have 4 seasons, it has 2 seasons. It has the dry season, it has the wet season. So working with the 4 elements and working with South Florida's 2 seasons, I created these 4 pieces that are going to change at every solstice and every equinox. So that every year, one of these pieces will be the banner that hangs at the entrance of the museum. And the way I divided it was creating warm and wet seasons. So basically the driest of the seasons is winter and the wettest of the seasons is summer. So what I decided to do is create pieces that capture the wet and the dry seasons. So the idea is you're walking up this staircase, you could have this experience at this proximity, almost like if you were a branch on a tree, looking at the very leaves of that tree.
Hi, my name is Luisa Basnuevo. I was a student here at FIU. I graduated in 1988, and here I am having a show after 20 years, 2008. The show is called Simulacra and Essence, the paintings of Luisa Basnuevo, and they're like oil paintings. You're going to see a form that is very repetitive all the time, and its base, it's the sources that you collect to see. So by accident, I started doing these little seeds. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. It's just that by accident I just started doing them. And then little by little I've been changing them in organizations. They look that sometimes I think about like processions. When you're in Spain, you participate in a lot of processions, religious processions.
This is the work of Florencio Helibert, who is a Cuban-American artist who now lives in New York, but spent quite a bit of time in Miami. He was at the University of Miami for a while. He even taught a course here at FIU before getting a really wonderful opportunity to work in New York. So he is there, and he was given this gallery. And what he wanted to show in this gallery, and like Xavier, this awareness that permeates all elements of society about the environment and the disasters of the environment, this exhibit has to do with the devastation of nature. So here you see the remnants of a tree. There's nothing left of it. And the reflections are, you kind of reflect upon yourself. You reflect upon what nature needs and the loss of nature.